Okay, yeah. This is I don't know if this is I don't know what take this is, but this is not my first attempt at trying to voice over this here episode. Look at that. Look at that. We make it all the way to World 4 and we die and it's brutal, I tell you. Because yeah, listen, I have no idea what the purpose of Let's Plays are, you know. I want to create videos that are easy to make and then I can just ramble over and it doesn't really it can be chill, you know? There doesn't have to be a purpose to everything. And so and look at that, you know, look at these I just learned this is that those little shrubs, those bushes, they're like the clouds, they're the clouds in the sky, but they are on the ground and they're turned green so that it looks like a shrub, but it's actually the exact same sprite as the sprites that you have with the clouds, just sort of put on the ground. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Video games. Trying to make a video game back then, you know? Yeah. So, welcome to. I guess this is more of the podcast version of the Super Mario Brothers Let's Play. Basically, I want like I have a vision, all right? I have a vision of how I want to do YouTube Let's Plays. I'm not trying to cater to every single type of audience. I want to make videos for myself, right? So the idea that I have is that I'm going to play through all these games. The reason I'm starting here with Mario 1 of all things is because in my mind this is kind of the beginning of like, you know, before Mario 1, the majority of video games is like get the highest score, you know, get through as many boards as possible, but there's no ending. There's no ending to the game. It's just a game. You know, because it's a game, right? Like a game of fucking basketball or, I don't know, sports, puzzles, I don't know, board games, cards, right? There's not like a story going on. I mean, I think by now, like, you know, 1985, they probably have some sort of board game D&D situation, right, where they're like, we're going to create our own story with imagination, right? But this video game genre has existed for a very short amount of time, and so you make do, right? This, I'm sure it wasn't the first game to have a the end, right? But from here on, like Nintendo console kind of cements the idea that a game can be from start to finish sort of a journey, you know? This is a journey, okay? The fact that we're going from world to world, saving people, going through different worlds that are all different, like it's not the same, it's not just one screen, you know, that we're clearing out all the enemies on. We're going from left to right, seeing a whole world throughout this thing. And so, you know, you really got to appreciate that, right? And so that's what I want to do. I want to make videos that are like going over all the games. I want to play all the games from, you know, Mario. That's the way I see it as Mario's like the first game. Mario is the first game that I want to have played. And then from then on I'll just keep going like in the direction of how time went, you know? I'm sure after Mario, it's like Castlevania or something. That's a real important game, right? It's a lot of games, but I don't want to play every game, every single game. I don't want to be playing 100 different shitty NES games, if I'm honest. But if it's like, you know, there's a lot of series of games, right? Oh my goodness. There's a lot of series of games that have been going on for decades now at this point because games have been around for so long. Mario is like almost 40 years old, I'm pretty sure. Something like that. And so it's like, man, I wanna appreciate this kind of stuff. Where have we come? Where have we gone? Right now in this year of 2025, we're getting a Switch 2. As I record this, we're like a couple weeks away from the Switch 2. All right? And so there could be a new Mario game along the pipeline, right? I think the last thing that came out that was really like Mario was the Mario Wonder game, right? And that was revolutionary, right? Because finally it's like, okay, Mario here, he's a sprite. He's just like a little couple of pixels because that's all you can really do. But now it's like, oh my goodness, it's a whole like Mickey Mouse fucking art crew doing all of his animations to make sure he's as characteristically happy as possible. All his little micro emotions got to show in the game sprite. Here there is nothing. I'm pretty sure the way that Mario's moves is basically one or two frames of like his hands going up, his feet going from being on the left side to the right side. You know, it's pretty simple. Cuz that's as much as you could do. Okay? That's as much as we can handle on a game that's like 40 kilobytes. 40 kilobytes is this game, I think. About 40 kilobytes. That's insane, Because it's like, games nowadays. I don't know if I've ever played a game that's like a terabyte in size, but it's pretty big. The thing about games nowadays is like I have a computer, I think it's only a couple of years old or so, and it's like I know that it probably can't play the vast majority of like like the most modern games, because I need like $1,000 computers to even render all those graphics and stuff. I don't have like a PS5 or like a Xbox, whatever is the newest Xbox thing. There's like it was a Xbox 360, and then it was a One X, X1 maybe. I have to, and then there was like Series 1, Series X. I don't know if those are models of the same Xbox One X or One or One X. The point is, I think that Microsoft, they're not really the company that makes the best modern consoles nowadays. I think it's all about, it seems to mostly be the fact that right now in gaming history, contemporary games is like, you have some pretty beefy games on PC nowadays, right? You got Nintendo, who continue to be, okay, we're Nintendo, we're the fun game company, right? We have motion controls and a bunch of other shit, make it like fun, like happy family friendly games and stuff. And we've got PlayStation. People definitely play PS5. I know that there are people with PS5. I have PS4. I have PS4 and PS2 and PS1. And I wish, man, I think I also needed what I really should have done apparently is I should have just gotten a PS3, right? Because I'm pretty sure that you can play all the other games on PS3 because of backwards compatibility, but then PS4 is like, backwards compatibility, it's still a disc, right? But how about you have to pay a subscription to download a bunch of games that you could play before. You can play on all your older consoles, and now you can play here, except you pay us once a month kind of thing. I'm not really into that, to be honest. But that is kind of the direction that entertainment has kind of gone in with movies and television. Most people have some sort of subscription service with a bunch of built-in movies and shit. To the point that nowadays, like, I think people are starting to go back to like, oh man. I think at some point people were like, when Netflix first came out, they were like, oh, I won't have to buy all of these movies, Also, I'm sorry for bumping the mic. I don't know. I'm bad with audio. I don't know. I know that sometimes my audio is bad or good or whatever. Usually it's bad. But I'm still trying to figure it out, if I'm honest. I'm really sorry. If you've got any suggestions for how to make my audio sound less bad, definitely let me know, right? Make some comments in that comments section. Oh yeah, it really generates some traffic to this video. How should this stupid 24-year-old moron fix his shitty videos about Super Mario. Anyway, I don't even know what I was talking about. Yeah, this is a game. This is a game about Mario. And man, what were we talking about? Mario video games, PlayStation, you know, and Xbox. You know, that's the thing. That's the thing. Games, they used to be simple, you know? Now you have to pay subscriptions for all of your entertainment, right? If you want to watch a bunch of movies, you think, oh, I'll just pay for the subscription that has all the movies on it. But there's so many movies. There's so many movies, right? That's one of those things. Is like I've always thought about, oh, I would love to be somebody that's seen all the classic movies. But the idea of classic movies, oh my goodness, there's so many movies that it's just like, how can you decide what is worth watching and what is completely just not at all worth watching, you know? I don't know. Because there's like, I don't know, E.T. or something. Look at that, I died. Look at that, I died on 2-4 as I'm trying to get back to World 4. Goodness gracious. I imagine a movie, I'm like, oh, a Steven Spielberg type thing. There's a lot of effects, and it's got a heartwarming message, and also it's thought-provoking, and it changes the way that you see making movies and stuff. Nowadays, movies, they're all kind of computer generated, I think what's going on right now, I've seen a couple of times, is like, yeah, I will say though, like the thing about like movies and TV show type entertainment, right, with new technology, is I think it's made it easier to like make already pre-existing stories into better, mostly video games. What I'm getting at is video game, movie, television show stuff, right? What did we have for Mario? What was Mario's first movie? Well, let's throw in, put everybody in costumes, I guess. And, there's, like, dinosaurs or whatever. This game this is the game that they were going off of to make a Mario game about, Mario movie, They're like, well, we don't really have the budget to, like, 3D, to make it a cartoon or whatever. We wanted to make a full budget movie, okay? Because this game is selling like hotcakes, and so we're going to have real actors, and it's going to be good. But there's no story. There's really not much story to Mario yet, so they're like, I don't know, just make it about dinosaurs, time travel, I don't know. And it sucked. But now there's been like 30, 40 years of Mario lore to grab from. And so you can make a little animated Mario movie, and it's like, oh man, look at all the references to different Mario source material. It's like, yeah, there is a lot of Mario stuff now. There's a lot to pull from. I know I watched the Avatar show recently, the Avatar Last Airbender. Never seen Avatar with the blue people, but I definitely like The Last Airbender. The animated, this was live action. I thought it was pretty good. I must say, I thought it was pretty good because I was like, man, this is like the show. And they seem to take their acting very seriously. It's like, yeah, like the guy who played Sokka, I felt like he was trying to do a Sokka voice. Like that's great, that's good stuff. But it's like, back in the day, it's like, let's make a movie about Avatar: Last Airbender. I don't know. It's a cartoon. It's got different elements or whatever, and they're all based on different nationalities. So let's just make them random other nationalities, I guess, because it's like it's based on the real world, but it's not. And it's just there's not enough nerds. There's not enough dedicated people, right, to be like, well, based on episode 7 of the comic books, like this is a scene that's really important to this character's storyline or whatever kind of bullshit. Yeah, that's what we need. That's what we need is passion and dedication. That's what I feel like I am severely lacking in, which is why I'm, recording myself playing a shitty game and talking with very little added showmanship, right? And I just want to try to put myself out there, with very little effort. But I want to have some kind of purpose to this, I want to, yeah. I feel like it would just be good to have some kind of Let's Play show where we go from this is the oldest game I guess that I would play is Super Mario, and then I just go through all the Nintendo games, right? So after this, I want to do like Castlevania, want to do like Zelda, Metroid, and Kid Icarus. We'll see from there, right? But it's like I feel like it's fun, because I've never seen. I guess I've never seen like a YouTube channel where it's like all the videos are in order. I've seen a lot of Let's Play channels, right, where it's just like, damn, that guy's played a lot of games. But I want to be able to have all my games in a particular order. So if I press on the video channel, right, I can go sort from oldest to newest. And when I go from oldest to newest, it starts at Mario 1, and it goes all the way through all the NES games, all the Super Nintendo, Game Boy, in that order. And then it's eventually going to, eventually I have to imagine I'll be able to play games fast enough that I can get into, like, modern games. And then it's like, that'll be it. I'll be complete. I'll have all the Let's Plays. And then whenever more games come out, I can just record myself playing more games, and so it'll just go on like that. Yeah, and then it'll just end when I die. That'll be good. I'll be into that if I'm honest. Oh yeah. So that's the plan, really. That's the whole plan with this channel. Yep. So we're in World 3-3. There's more Mo Howard trees up in here, or maybe it's I could see this being like Mr. Mime. He's got these things on his head, and so if you imagine those two things on his head being on the two sides of the head of the tree, then yeah, you've got like a sort of a Mr. Mime tree with green, and it's like a tree. I guess it could be like a palm tree. I could see this as being just a really fat palm tree, but what palm tree looks like that exactly? So these are just some weird ass tree that exists in the Mushroom Kingdom. That's really never. But the reason that these trees are so strange to me is that it's really never brought up more in the series. Like, there's giant mushrooms in later games, and all these other things show up again. These fireballs are called like potaboos. Potaboos. The fireball in Mario has a name and it has a face and it has an origin. The firebar is not a creature as far as. Well, actually, the fire bar, there actually is like a fire enemy that I don't know if it's a potaboo, but it's like a snake fire. I know it shows up in New Super Mario Brothers in the new Super Mario Brothers that's probably come out like 10 years ago at this point, 15 years ago, who knows. That game has a living fire snake thing. And that makes me think, I wonder if the fire bars in Mario are all just tamed versions of that enemy. Wouldn't that be something, right? To have Mario enemies that are basically just inanimate objects. Like this guy. Oh my goodness. What is the relationship between the Lakitu and the Spiny, right? What is this weird parasitic dynamic? Oh my goodness. That there's a guy in a cloud who's like a beetle. He's kind of like a shelled creature, but the shell is more of a vestigial trait where it's like, I don't even think he could hide inside of his shell at this point because he's so dependent on the happy cloud, which is also itself some other character. The happy cloud is its own entity. The Lakitu stands upon the happy cloud, and the Lakitu throws spinies, which come in infinite. I can't imagine that spinies are like baby Lakitus because there's no spines on the Lakitus. And the shell is so much more prominent on the spiny. So why Spiny, Lakitu, and Happy Cloud all hang out together is beyond me, I have to say. But that's the kind of stuff that makes Mario... Oh my goodness, I thought I was about to lose the mushroom there. That would have been very sad. This is one of those things. This is one of those like, oh, you gotta get past the 3 Goombas. I've had so much trouble with that in the past, like getting past those 3 Goombas, but it's really, with the jumps in this game, you just have to like have confidence. You have to have faith in yourself that you'll get from one side to the other. So you just gotta run for it, in that kind of situation. Right here, there's like, I swear to God, it's like a upside down check mark or something. But the point of this right here is that I think if you don't press the second block to the right or left, second block to the left, the highest block, if you don't hit that hidden block, then you can, excuse me, then you can hit the block that's above it. You take a vine, and then a vine takes you to World 8. Yeah. I might not even ever use that vine in this playthrough because because at this point of recording, I've already actually gone and, played the whole rest of the game. And this was a foolish move for here. I remember this very fondly. Oh my god. Not fondly, to be honest. That little fucking spiny trap there, it's a trap. You don't want to go down there. I don't think you can actually get to the star without at least, losing your mushroom or fire flower. And so there's really no point in getting the star, because the star is going to make me invincible for like a very short amount of time. And then it's like, okay, now I'm dead, right? But lives are so precious in this run. So precious in this run where I want to just get to the end without having to do I don't plan on doing any like save states or anything like that. Here's the thing about this footage, right? Is that I recognize that the audio of the game is gone. For whatever reason, the audio for the game is no longer existent. But I wanted to keep this footage because the score, you can see the score at the beginning of the video. It's the same as it was when I got to the end of World 3. And there was no cuts in between this. This is the raw, authentic fucking, 25 spices and herbs recipe that created me getting from like never actually beating Super Mario Brothers to within a couple of hours being able to get through the entire game, right? I feel like that's important to understanding the concept of like, I feel like this is one of those games that nobody plays because one, it's just like so old that it's not very interesting to watch or like look at, But it's just harder because it's like you have to be able to get to the end of the game without dying a couple of times, or else you have to restart the entire game. And like, what would be the point of making a let's play of this game where you just skip like, what I want to do is I want to show all the levels, right? Because it's like, how often do you see all the levels? When most of the runs I've seen in this game is you skip from 1 to 4 to 8, and then that's the game. So I want to see what the rest of the game is like. And, there's not a lot to it, right? Because there's so little technology available. But it is just interesting to me, right? It's just to see, like, oh, man, like, how have they improved Mario over the years? I mean, look at this. Like, this is the giant mushroom level. I think this is the first giant mushroom level because we've certainly had levels that are like in the sky and there's trees, right? But I think this is the very first like mushroom level. And here I do a fool's move, but I don't realize what I should be doing is if I stand back onto the platform on the left, I could have just moved that out of the way, but I totally risk it there, and I almost fall to my death, but I hit the platform right at the bottom there. That was pretty cool, right? I felt pretty good about that. I thought it was pretty funny. Oh, and then I do the same problem once again, but on this platform, there is no going back, right? So I die, right? But really what you should be doing if you do that, if you land on the platform for too long, is you can just move the platform away from you. And then as long as it's not in your way, you should be able to jump to the platform on the other string of 2 platforms. Look at this, It's hard. This is a hard level. But I feel like there's a lot, there's a lot of mechanics going on, right? Is like, I think I understand how this could work. Is like, when Mario is standing on platform goes down at a certain rate. And over the years, they've had these platforms in Mario, but over time, it's like they've added a lot more to it, where it's like you step on the edge of the platform, and it's like it dips a little bit because of his weight being on the platform. But in this one, it's just like, it just steadily moves down. It's crazy, It's crazy how much you can build on the concept of like character jumps on platform. Like when character jumps on platform, maybe there's a little like effect that happens, or there's a I don't know. What I'm saying, what I'm really getting at is that I want to show what video games are like. I want to show from start to finish how video games have changed over the years. The year is 1985. The summer of the funky drummer, Mario. And that's what we're talking about here, right? 1985 was a good year, right? We had Mike Tyson debuted. We got U2, Blondie, music still on MTV, as I understand it. Music videos on Music Video TV. 1986, however, when this game releases in North America, the space shuttle fucking crashed. The space shuttle crashed and all the people inside died, okay? It was not a good time, all right? Thundercats, the fucking Cold War had been going on for like 40 years. The fucking Iran hostage crisis. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my